Fairy tales. Often whimsical, always memorable. Fairy tales are offered up by cultures the world over as a fine form of storytelling on whose pages can be found magic, excitement, romance, even salvation. Tell that to anyone but the fairy tale's main characters and they'd scoff at you. They might even punch you. What happens in the background of Happily Ever After? Often the fairy dust is reserved for a select few, while the rest of the towns, shires, and villages are left to fend for themselves, or worse, are blindsided by someone else's pursuit of their happily ever after. Their lives often dramatically and irreparably affected by all the magic in the air. Fairy tales and folklore may very well share a ballpark, but they're not on the same team. However, in both spaces, one single character or element can often be dismissed as one thing and one thing only. I am speaking about the villain. The bad guy, the heavy, the son of a bitch hell-bent on the destruction of not only our heroes, but the whole world as we know it. Well, as we move further into the 21st century, we know damn well that not every villain is pure evil. Enter a unanimously notorious cryptid known as the Chupacabra. Well, unanimously notorious until now. With their described mangy appearance and vicious, bloodthirsty ways, we only know them as the bad guy. But today, these bad guys are going to do the most kind and selfless thing any creature could do. I'll let Ricardo take it from here. Hola. Bienvenido. You have everything you need? You would like a cigar? Some brandy? Extra cushion for your chair? Massage while you work, Very well. I will have this brandy. So, my friend, what do you want to know? Whatever I'd care to tell you, Well, first things first. I am not a fairy tale. At least not according to the people that write the rules of that world. To them, I am a hideous lizard person set on draining the blood of livestock in Puerto Rico, Mexico, and the southern continental United States. A scary story los criminales tell their kids at night. Rat on your pop, and Chupacabra will get you. Well, I have never had any interest in harming small children. As for the livestock, I don't have any interest in harming them anymore. But no matter how benevolent I become, there is no happy fairy tale ending for me unless I make one for myself. Now make no mistake, there are fairy tales happening around me and my kind all the time. A fairy tale is for the farmer who kills the Chupacabra, protects his family from that menace. For the sheriff who strangles the Chupacabra with his bare hands. He becomes a hero. Because I am the villain. I die in the end. Except as you can plainly see, I don't. Maybe that fairy tale world simply is not as it seems. And maybe I have worked to make sure that the fairy tale is for me and me alone. How, you ask? It all began in a dark place. I, a human baby, was found in a basket on the banks of the Rio Tanama by a community of Chupacabras. Accused of all manner of violence, bloodshed, and murder, they found them to be gentle, dignified, kind. They saved my life. They raised me. They are the only family I have ever known. And that is why I consider myself a Chupacabra and always will. Now, they are small and green. I am not that. But that is why I was able to be such a great asset to them. But before I was old enough to wander into the villages and steal meat, we would drain the blood of animals to survive. Not unlike your common vampire, without all the romanticism and sexy Brad Pitt, Antonio Banderas staring contests. But when those bats and birds and mongoose proved to not be enough for our growing community, we turned to the livestock in the farm villages. That was a mistake. But sometimes, when your survival is threatened, these mistakes can seem like your only hope. One night we approached a single cow in the field, quiet as ever. All of a sudden, farmers, villagers, policia, with pitchforks and flame and machetes, they killed more than half our community. We fled into the forest, up into the hills, past where any human being would go, any human being but me. So for that moment, we were safe, but we were grieving. And soon enough, we were starving. That was when I decided to risk my life to save my family. Now, up in the hills, from the tallest peaks, I could see a new farm village. I was convinced that I could climb down, go into the village, steal the meat, and bring my family food. So off I went. I wandered through the village. I found the butcher. I waited behind his little shop. When he left for the night, I climbed in through a window, and I grabbed as much bloody raw meat as I could carry. I brought it back to my family, the Chupacabras. They were so worried about me. Some of the men were angry that I left at all. But as soon as they tasted that meat, that blood, their anger melted away, and all that remained was their gratitude. So I resigned to go back to that village again and again and again. But one day I could not walk my normal route. There was some sort of military convoy, far too many humans in one place for me to feel safe. So I went back around through the forest, and when I came out on the other side, I was standing on a baseball field. A bunch of young kids playing the game. I'd never seen anything like it. I just wandered over to the bleachers. They didn't pay me any mind at all. They just kept playing. I just kept watching. It was that moment that I fell in love with the game. I would come down from the hills any chance I got to watch them play. Until one day, one kid got hit in the wrist with a pitch. He had to sit down. They turned to me, asked me if I wanted to play. So I took the bat. I got in the batter's box. I knew how to play. I had been watching them. I was very scared. But that first pitch, I hit a line drive right back up the middle, almost took the pitcher's head clean off. I was accepted immediately by these boys, and I would play with them for the next 7 years on this field and other fields. My family, they loved me so. They did not get in my way. They would cheer me on silently from the edge of the forest. Just knowing that they were there for me and meant the world. I was drafted by a minor league team, started to learn English, started to wear suits, really started to pull away from them. They supported me by telling me to go. And whenever I returned, I'd bring them all the meat they could eat. And when I started making money as a ball player, I brought them the finest meat I could afford. I played for parts of 9 seasons in the major leagues. First base. I made more money than I could have ever dreamed of. I invested that money in real estate, Miami, Orlando. I have made a fortune. As soon as I could, I built this mansion in the hills for my family. Sure, it took them a while to get used to the sound the toilet makes when you flush it, but they call this their home. They have found comfort here. They're around, well hidden, well cared for. I cannot help every Chupacabra in this world, but I have made it my business to protect my family at all costs. Of this, I am very proud. And although my playing days are far behind me, I continue to make baseball my business. I am the majority stakeholder in a prospective ownership group seeking to establish a baseball team in Puerto Rico. A major league team. Some scoff and say it can't be done. I say my entire life has taught me that anything can be done. While I am the majority stakeholder and will be entitled to certain concessions, I will ask for only one. Let the team be called Los Chupacabras. The Chupacabras deserve a major league team, a team at the highest level in the land, with a dignified logo and a proud, loyal fan base. And my friends, when you see that team take the field one fine day, you will know that I have my fairy tale, my happy ending. So here's to happy endings, my friends. Mine and yours. Now go make it happen.